I still remember that day so vividly. The sun was setting, and the sky turned from golden to pitch black. In the corner of the living room, my friends, Nicholas, Justin, Deborah, and I, gathered around a small table with a piece of paper and 2 pencils arranged to form a cross. We were trying the Charlie Charlie challenge, a game said to summon spirits from the other world. But this time, something felt different. I sensed that there was more than just a game. My Labobo doll, which I had always considered just a toy, suddenly felt more alive. Over the past few weeks, I had been hearing strange noises at night. The doors in my house would open by themselves, even when there was no wind. I felt like I was being watched, but I didn't know by what. Nervously, I asked, "Does my Labobo doll have a spirit?" I watched as the pencils moved on their own, slowly shifting to spell. Yes. My friends fell silent, exchanging nervous glances. "Is it really true that the doll has a spirit?" Deborah whispered, her eyes wide with fear. Nicholas stared at me with curiosity and a hint of fear. That night, we went back to our separate homes feeling unsettled. But the next day, strange things started happening again. I found my Labobo doll in a different place, in a position I didn't remember moving it to. The strange noises at night became more frequent, and sometimes I felt like something was following me down dark hallways. Justin, usually cheerful, looked anxious. He told me he had seen a black shadow in the corner of my room while I was sleeping. Deborah, who was usually skeptical about supernatural stuff, started showing both interest and fear. "This isn't just coincidence. There's something real behind all this," she said one night when we gathered again at my house. We decided to investigate the origin of the Labobo doll and these strange occurrences. Deborah suggested we look into its history. We visited an old toy shop downtown trying to find out who made the doll and if there were any mystical stories attached to it. At the shop, the elderly owner told us that the Labobo doll came from a small mountain village where stories about guardian spirits and supernatural creatures were still very strong. Legend says the doll was made by an old shaman who wanted to protect the village from evil spirits, but there was a risk that the spirit could return and trouble its owner if not properly respected. "Be careful," said the shop owner. "The doll might be a protector, but it can also become a source of trouble if not handled with respect." We decided to perform a small ritual at my house to quiet the spirit of the Labobo doll and stop it from bothering us. Justin brought some sacred objects and candles, and together, we recited prayers and performed a simple ritual according to the story we learned. That night, the atmosphere in the house became incredibly silent and tense. When we finished, suddenly everything changed. The strange occurrences gradually subsided. But I knew this was only the beginning. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the glowing eyes of Labobo staring back at me, haunting my dreams. Suddenly, I woke up with a terrible feeling, like the spirit was trying to communicate again, but this time it was desperate. I remembered the voice that whispered, "Help me, release me," during the ritual. But what if there was more? What if the spirit was trying to tell us something else? The next morning, I decided to examine the doll carefully. As I looked closer, I noticed faint symbols carved into its surface, symbols I hadn't seen before. They looked like ancient runes, glowing faintly in the early morning light. I showed them to Deborah, Justin, and Nicholas. "Look at this," I said. "It's like the spirit left a message." Deborah took out her phone and snapped a picture. "Maybe these symbols are clues or a spell. We need to find out what they mean." Later that day, I did some research online and in old books I borrowed from the library. The symbols matched ancient script from a forgotten language, one associated with spirits and guardians. But there was one phrase that kept recurring in my searches. "The spirit is bound by a curse. Only the truth can set it free." That night, strange noises returned, whispering voices coming from the doll, calling out to us. It felt like the spirit was in pain, begging for release. I could hear faint sobbing, almost human. Suddenly, Labobo's eyes lit up again, and the symbols glowed brighter. The spirit's voice echoed in my mind. You must find the truth. I realized that the spirit wasn't just seeking release. It was trying to tell us something vital, something that could save us all. Determined to help the spirit and end this nightmare once and for all, we decided to investigate the story of the shaman and the village. We found an old diary in the library, buried among dusty books, written by someone claiming to be a descendant of the shaman. The diary revealed that the spirit inside Labobo was not just a protector, it was a vengeful guardian cursed by a betrayal. The shaman had sealed his own son's spirit inside the doll to save the village, but the curse had twisted the spirit's purpose. The only way to truly free the spirit was to confront the original curse and reveal the truth about what had happened in the past. The next day, we gathered again in my room, clutching the old diary we found. Its pages were fragile, filled with faded handwriting and sketches of the village, the shaman, and strange symbols. As we flipped through the pages, a story started to emerge, a story about betrayal, sacrifice, and curses. According to the diary, the shaman's son had been accused of betrayal, of working with dark spirits to harm the village. The shaman, desperate to save his people, sealed his son's spirit inside the doll to contain the evil. But the curse was never lifted, and the vengeful spirit of the son was trapped, unable to find peace. The only way to break the curse, the diary said, is to reveal the truth and make amends for the betrayal. I looked at Labobo, feeling a mix of fear and hope. The spirit inside was desperate. Perhaps it was waiting for us to understand what really happened. That evening, we decided to visit the village mentioned in the diary, hidden deep in the mountains, shrouded in mist and silence. We knew that confronting the past was dangerous, but it was the only way to free the spirit. The journey was arduous, winding through dense forests and steep cliffs. When we finally arrived, we found an abandoned shrine, overgrown with moss and vines. Inside, inscribed on the stone wall, were more symbols and stories, remnants of an ancient ritual. As we explored, the air grew cold, and whispers echoed around us. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appeared, an apparition of a young boy, crying softly. "You must tell the truth," he whispered, "or I will never rest." We realized that the spirit's pain was rooted in the betrayal, and only by confronting the dark secret could we bring peace. Gathering our courage, we spoke aloud what we had learned from the diary, about the false accusations, the betrayal, and the wrongful curse placed on the shaman's son. As we did, the ghostly figure's tears turned to peace, and a gentle light filled the shrine. Suddenly, Labobo's eyes flared brightly, and the symbols on its surface shimmered. The spirit's voice rang out in a clear, calm tone. "The truth has been revealed. I am free." A warm wind swept through the mountain, and the shadowy figure of the boy nodded gratefully before vanishing into the light. In that moment, the curse was broken. The spirit inside Labobo was finally at peace. The doll's surface grew dull and lifeless, no longer glowing or pulsating with dark energy. We returned home, feeling a strange lightness in our hearts. The strange noises stopped completely, and the house felt calmer. Labobo, now just an ordinary doll again, sat quietly on my shelf, silent and still. But I knew that some spirits once awakened never truly forget. Perhaps in some distant future, the truth will rise again, and the shadows will return. But for now, we had done what was needed, to uncover the truth, face the darkness, and set a restless spirit free. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey to uncover the truth and free the spirit trapped inside the Labobo doll. Remember, sometimes the past holds secrets that can change everything. Stay curious, stay brave, and never stop exploring the mysteries around us. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below with your thoughts or stories, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting adventures. Until next time, stay safe and keep the spirit of curiosity alive.